right? It's my man's favorite record right here. Yes, sir. Beating shit.
What is up, guys? It's Marcus, aka your boy Polo, with a video review of the PowerBear Samsung Galaxy Note 4 Extended Series 7500 milliamp extended battery, brought to you on behalf of the Hillside Gaming, Sports, and Manliness community. What I really wanted to do is first give a super shout out, really big shout out to the guys at PowerBear LLC. You're going to see the link to this item that you can purchase on Amazon from PowerBear LLC in the description down below. But just wanted to really give them credit for giving me the opportunity to take a look at their product and spend a little bit of time with it, which you guys are going to get to take a look at the review. So what I'm first going to do is obviously the unboxing of the item. Not much of a box, but we've got a package here, so I'm going to open that. This review is actually going to extend over a couple of days. Clearly you won't be with me all day, but what I'm going to do is rip into this package, then I'm going to charge it up tonight, and then I'm going to begin the journey. So what I'm going to do is give this thing a run over the next couple of days. I'll report back with, what type of battery life I get in relation to the original battery that is in the device, which is a 3220 milliamp battery, and just relate my experience and give an honest review of the product. So let's first get into the unboxing. Okay, so what we've got here is the product. Made it to me from PowerBear. Thank you again, guys. So not a ton to that package, but let's see. Just got an order confirmation from PowerBear, and we've got the item. So doesn't look like there's a ton in terms of confusion and what you need to get into in terms of, hey, I want to charge my phone, I want to use it, that sort of thing. So let's take a look. So far what I see is, oh nice, I didn't expect this. You actually get a protective cover for your Note 4, which is cool, and a cleaning cloth to help apply it. And I definitely appreciate this, because I'm a guy that always likes to keep my screen intact and looking pretty sharp. So right here what you see is a cover for the Galaxy Note 4, which that was unexpected, so definitely appreciate that. If you don't have one, that'll come in handy. What you've got here is you've got your battery, extended battery for the Galaxy Note 4. Looks like it should be all variants of the Galaxy. Obviously the N910A, which is the US version that I have, and then it's got some of the other variants on the battery. I'm going to try and give you guys a close-up of that. See if we can get some focus action here. Okay, so that's your battery. 3.85 volts. Capacity is, like I said, 7500 milliamp hours. And what we have here is a back cover. This back cover is actually a little bit smaller than I expected. So that might actually be a good thing if you're not wanting to add too much bulk to what you're doing. This cover may be what you're looking for. I'm gonna get a pretty close-up view of this cover here, and again let you take a look at that logo, PowerBear. So I've got this thing unboxed. You've got just feels like a plastic cover, nothing super duper special. But I think what you're actually looking for is, what can this thing offer me here? This is what you're really looking for. So this will be the test, and this will be what we find out over the next couple of days. So what I'm going to do is actually install this, and then what we're going to do is get this thing charged up. Probably going to take a little bit of time, but we're going to start our journey, and we'll check back in. So we'll see what it does. Here's the unboxing. I'm going to go ahead and complete my testing of the 7500 milliamp extended battery from PowerBear for the Galaxy Note 4. Real quick, let's go ahead and run through some things. So I started charging the battery. It was at 55%. Using the stock Samsung fast charger, I was able to take this battery from 55% to 72% in just 10 minutes. From there, I went to 85% in another 10 minutes. So we're 30 minutes in, and I'm already at 85% from 55%. From there, I went to 97%, and then went ahead and finished. Took a full charge, roughly 40 or so minutes, and that was from 55%. So it did appear that fast charging was working as far as I could tell. The battery didn't take much time at all to go ahead and charge up, and it was ready to use. So what I did is I went ahead and unplugged this battery at 100%. That was at 10:05 p.m. So we're looking at 10:05 p.m. as my start time, and this was the 20th, so roughly midweek. So that was Tuesday the 20th, and we're talking about a battery that lasted an entire day, plus it made it into the next morning. So we're talking 33 hours of total battery time out of this 7500 milliamp hour battery. I was able to use Bluetooth. I tethered my smartwatch all day long while I was at work. I ran the GPS functionality on my phone as well as Wi-Fi. Now, the only times that I turned off Wi-Fi and the GPS was during sleep. So that first night I went to sleep, I turned those radios off, and then I did essentially use them through the entire day, which was roughly probably about 24 hours of usage of the different radios. That same night I did go ahead and go to sleep, and I turned the radios off. When I went to sleep that night, so we're talking 10 p.m., I'm back in my residence. So we've hit the 1 day mark in terms of the battery life. So we've hit that 1 day mark, went to sleep again, turned those radios off, made it into the next morning, roughly about 6:45 a.m. and that was it. So I needed a charge. So we're talking 33 hours of total time from initial start to when the battery's dead. Initially, I was a little worried when I first charged this battery to 100%. For whatever reason, the usage monitor showed that I had 3 hours of battery left at 95%. I panicked, so I emailed PowerBear. They were quick to get back with me, and I just followed up with them as well. I just gave it a little bit of time, and I did notice that the battery really felt like one of the best running backs in the NFL. It just got stronger as the day went on. So the usage monitor, I'm going to attribute that to probably needing to calibrate with the larger size battery, because as the day went on, the battery actually showed a more accurate representation of what was left in terms of a charge. And like I said, I made it through a day and change, actually an entire day and change. So you're talking 33 hours. So initially I panicked. If you do notice that the battery hours do not look correct when you first install this battery, do not panic. Give it some time. And another thing too that should put you at ease with this, PowerBear actually offers a 2-year warranty. I'm talking 2 years on this item. So that in itself shows that they stand behind its product. So I don't see why you'd be uncomfortable to give it a shot. And realistically, when you think about it, the price point, you're talking $21.95, free shipping on Amazon. Pretty difficult to beat that. So between the price at $21.95, that free shipping, a 2-year warranty, and ridiculous battery life. And when I say ridiculous battery life, I know some people are probably going to say, well, I can get a day battery with my standard battery. Yeah, I got a day with my standard battery. The thing is, that was before I installed any aftermarket apps on it. So we're talking Lollipop, which is notoriously bad for battery life, and I've tried my hardest to get back to KitKat. For whatever reason, my Galaxy Note 4 does not want to allow me to flash back to Kit Kat, so I've been stuck with Lollipop. And to be able to use my phone, and I consider myself a pretty heavy user, being that I am tethering with Bluetooth constantly to my watch, I will get tons of push notifications from various applications, sports, Bleacher Report, ESPN, several different media outlets, Facebook, Gmail, different things like that are constantly pushing things to my device. And it was really a struggle with the standard battery of 3,220 milliamp hours to make it through an entire workday with that battery. So I was actually able to do that and really use my phone the way that I really wanted to use it. So thinking about the look and feel, this actually comes in at only being 0.6 inches thick. So it's a little over half an inch thick. For you guys who love to use millimeters and the metric measuring system, it's actually 15.3 millimeters thick. So it was actually quite a bit slimmer than I expected initially. I did show this to someone at work, and they were actually pretty surprised at the amount of battery that was given and the slim frame. So it actually is a little bit thinner than you might initially think. So really, what it comes down to is, would I purchase this? Again, like I said, the price point, excellent, $21.95. The warranty, fantastic. And then I was actually able to use the phone really how I wanted to use it. So yes, I would purchase this. If there were any maybe cons to the device, it's slightly slicker than I might like. I might prefer to maybe add a stipple or something to allow it to have a little bit more grip, but there was still a little bit of texture on the sides where you could actually hold the phone, and it wasn't as uncomfortable as you might think with the back being slick. However, I would probably prefer a little bit more texture. Now, they do actually offer, if you take a look at the page where this is advertised, a lot of Amazon users have actually purchased a TPU case that it's a honeycomb style case, and it actually seems to be a little more tacky. So that's less than $10. That would probably make this a perfect fit in terms of being comfortable and not losing the grip on the phone. So that may be one con. Now, if you think about how you want to use this device, and you probably, with the extended battery, you'd like to maybe sit and watch Netflix or whatever it is you'd like to watch. One thing I would love to add to this particular case with the form factor is a kickstand. I know the PowerBear does offer a case that does have the stand. This one does not have the stand. If I could, I would somehow plug that stand into this, and you'd have a superior extended battery case. But again, like I said, would I purchase this? Absolutely. I think that the value that goes into it is certainly justified by the price point, and the test actually showed that I was really able to use my device as a power user and use my device the way that I really wanted to. Again, I'd just like to extend a thank you to PowerBear LLC. Again, remember to check down below for the link for the item. It's going to be in that description as well. And I would say give it a shot.